Sir, Dredging Corporation of India is going to see a glorious moment. You are going to celebrate the 50 years of its establishment. Kindly throw some light how it has been, the journey has been.
DCIL is celebrating its 50 years glorious years. That's the 50th golden jubilee. That's on 29th of March 2026. For the last 5 decades, DCIL has been played a very crucial role with respect to port infrastructure and modernization of the ports, and in order to keep the waterways as far as the channels and the basins and berth pockets, and it played a very immense role in all the major ports, both capital dredging, maintenance dredging and reclamation works. And this celebration not only for the DCI, but also we are reaffirming ourselves that we are committed to the nation and for the development of the ports and the blue economy.
So what has been DCIL's contribution to the development of India's port sector? You know that the port is a very much focus area of the government. Government is very keen to develop the ports. What has been the contribution and what is going to be the future of your contribution in the port sector?
Yeah. We started with about 3 dredges initially when we started in 1976, and now we have increased to 10 dredges. Almost our hopper capacity close to 54,500, and we are also going to add another 12,000 hopper capacity. That's under Atmanirbhar Bharat. So Godavari dredge is being built at CSL Kochi. So with this we are able to cater to almost 80% of the Indian dredging market, and all the major ports put together it comes about 80 million cubic meters, and with the private port it comes about 110 million meters, 110 million cubic meters, out of which DCA is catering about 85 cubic meter. That's means 80% of it. And what we are intended to do in the future is that we have about 10 years business plan wherein we are going to augment our capacity by procuring another 2 more 12,000 hopper capacity dredges. That's in turn we are adding another 36,000 cubic meters. It comes to 92,000. With this we'll be able to cater for 100% of the Indian dredging market as far as the maintenance dredging is concerned. In addition to that, we are also trying to procure on the cutter section dredger, that's 3,000 kilowatts, which also can be used for any capital nature dredging, such as Tuticorin port is coming with the outer harbour, expansion of the outer harbour, Cochin port is also coming up. So most of the ports, as per the government initiatives under the MIV 2030, they are going to increase the depths from 18 meters to 22 meters in order to accommodate bigger vessels like ULCCs, VLCCs and all, which are going to be more than 20 meters. So thereby there is a lot of potential in the Indian market to to be dredged. And so in addition to that, for the shallow water dredger we are also adding another 3,000 hopper capacity, and we also recently diversified into inland waterways, and we are also procuring a total 6 in number cutter section dredgers to be deployed for northeastern region, that is Brahmaputra and Barak rivers.
So who are your key stakeholders in today's time?
We have mainly all the major ports, and recently, and we have Southern Naval Command and Western Naval Command and also Eastern Naval Command. We do serve for all the shipyards and the fishing harbors and also petrochemical hubs. So in addition to that, we started serving for Indian national waterways, and we are also trying to diversify ourselves into desiltation of dams and reservoirs, which has been silted up for quite some time. So we are also trying to procure a lot of equipment for that. And apart from that, we are also trying to foray into foreign markets, wherein we can also look forward for some kind of a good job in foreign markets, if apart from meeting our Indian requirement.
So what are the initiatives planned as part of your Golden Jubilee celebrations?
Golden Jubilee basically this is one kind of a celebration wherein we are going to have some kind of a sessions, panel discussions, and our Honorable Minister Sri Sonowal ji is going to come, and he is going to inaugurate the session, and we have invited our Minister for State and Sri Shantanu Thakur ji, and also as a guest of honor, and our Secretary, Honorable Secretary as a chief guest, as a special guest is going to be there. and we'll be having some cultural activities, and we are also inviting our all stakeholders, and employees is going to be there, and especially DG Shipping and IRS. So all the end of foreign players like IHC who have been a part of our journey for the last 50 years, they are going to be part of this 50 years Golden Jubilee celebrations.
So, being a 50-year-old organization, what is the message you are going to convey to the world on the as part of your Golden Jubilee celebrations? What experience, what has been your contribution? Exactly what is the message you are going to convey to the world?
As far as India is concerned, for the last 5 decades, we have given a kind of a confidence that we are no more a contractor. We are going to be the preferred contractor as far as Indian continent is concerned. And also, we want it to be in the days to come. We are going to reaffirm to all the major ports, saying that yes, we are for the port infrastructure, port development, and we want it to be in the down the line, maybe in 5 to 10 years. One of the global player and global dredging infrastructure at par with any of these international companies. That's what our aim. And not only for the ports, we are also trying to contribute for coastal economic development, coastal and port-led industrial development, and also for the, as I mentioned, for the dams and reservoirs, and for inland waterways. So wherever you call it, the DCI is going to be there in the down the line. So we would like to have another 75 years, that's wherein we are going to have Platinum Jubilee. You will see the lot of changes. I'm sure by Platinum Jubilee we should be in a position to reach in the top 10 global companies, and we'll be at par with one of the global company.
So hearing your journey, hearing your contribution, I'm a bit curious to know, like, what are the current markets you are trying to enter? What are the growth plans for the next 5 years in the international market?
Yeah. Presently, we are for the maintenance dredging. So far, we have been concentrating for the maintenance dredging because all our vessels are for the maintenance purpose. Now, as I mentioned that we have about 10 years business plan, we are also procuring dredgers which are meant for the capital dredging. That means we are also going to capture the capital dredging market of Indian dredging market. And in addition to that, we are also trying to explore another untouched areas where so far we have not done it. As per the MIV 2030, Government of India is going to come out with 30 gigawatts of the green energy, wherein they are going to install offshore windmills, offshore oil and gas, and offshore data cables. So there is a lot of scope as far as the DCIL is concerned, especially on the Gujarat coast as well as Tamil Nadu coast for wind energy. And especially in Andhra coast, this Google is going to come out with a data cable. We can also have a data link cable. So wherein DCI will be making a bed leveling and making it trenches for laying the pipelines, and also for keeping the turbines for the windmills. So that is a one part of it. And also we are going to participate. There are so many mega ports are going to come up, like global ports like Vadvan is going to be there. And again, we are Galatia, which is going to be in the Andamans. So, and transshipment hubs are coming up, and this under Sagarmala, and the Government of India is initiating about 4 lakh crores, for existing ports to increase, and new ports are going to come up. So there is a huge potential for the DCI. So we wanted to participate, and we wanted to be firm ourselves that DCI is going to be the next thing as far as the port infrastructure is concerned.
So would you like to comment on the global shipping market as well? Like, how do you see Dredging Corporation of India coming on a global level? Although you are already working for some of the countries, but where do you see the more opportunities coming from?
Yeah, we have been working with Sri Lanka, we have worked in Bahrain, we have worked for Bangladesh, and we also worked in Taiwan. So we also forward into the foreign markets, but there is a lot of scope as far as the Middle East and Southeast, and then African countries. And as far as the Middle East is concerned, there is a lot of artificial islands are being built. And there is water and waterfront area infrastructure is also taking place, where DCI can play a very major role. And when it comes to the African continent, we have a lot of mega ports are coming up, and transport hubs are coming up, and container terminals are coming up. So there is another lot of scope for that. And the Middle East itself, as I mentioned, the Southeast Asia, we have a lot of scope, wherein we are trying to explore, and we are trying to have a strategic partners with one of the global player, like it could be anyone. We are going to call for expansion of interest and have a strategic partner so that we can foray into all the foreign markets where we have a lot of potential.
Sir, 50 years have passed. How do you see from in terms of revenue? What is the revenue today, and in terms of revenue, in terms of operation, how it began? What was the size of the company, employee size? If you want to throw some light on that.
And if you look at it for the last 50 years, though we started with the minimum, like 100 crores and also, for now we have crossed for the last 5 years. If you see, there is a lot of increase in terms of turnover. And our EBITDA levels are also 15 to 20%. And with additional augmentation of the capacity, I'm sure our turnover in 5 to 10 years is going to be 2,500 to 3,000 crores. That's what we are targeting. And EBITDA is going to remain the same, around 25 to 30%. We want to take the EBITDA to that extent. And in addition to that, we are also, as I mentioned, that since we have a lot of opportunities, yes, certainly in the days to come, once we become a global player, and our capacity is going to increase with respect to the hopper capacity. As I mentioned, that we are going to meet 100 million cubic meters. That's and in addition to that, our manpower right now, we have got about 1,000 people, and definitely our manpower also going to increase. So we are going to increase in terms of volume, in terms of geographical boundaries, in terms of turnover and our bottom line. So I'm expecting that definitely DCI going to achieve this, all the things in about 10 years time. By 2035, you will see there is a revenue improvement by around close to 3,000 crores.
Revenues, you are talking close to 3,000 crore. So besides, you had mentioned that you will be participating in the dams and reservoirs. What are the active projects we are contributing or we are looking to participate in?
Yeah. As far as the dams and reservoirs are concerned, there are about 1,000 dams right now in India, and especially after the post-independence, these dams have been neglected, and the depth, which has got about 90 feet, has come down to almost 60 because got silted up. So if it gets silted up, we have a lot of disadvantages. One is that the catchment area, that water catchment areas comes down, and the floods takes place. It gets into the low-lying areas, and especially that other areas get disturbed. And especially dams are, so much of siltation has taken place, dams are not going to be operated for the purpose which is being built. So thereby, now the Ministry of Jal Shakti is also taking a very active role under the Ministry of Home Affairs, that they have been we're having a series of meetings with the state government as well as the central government, and trying to come out with a policy where DCI is also going to play a very major role to take up this kind of jobs. And as I mentioned, that the huge potential in all the dams, and as a pilot project, Minister of Jal Shakti is trying to give us at least another 5 to 10 dams. And as far as the present, this thing is that we have done DPR for Bilaspur in Rajasthan. And also we are having discussions with the Kerala government and the Andhra Pradesh government to take up some of the dams desiltation part. So as I mentioned, that is around 50 to 60,000 crores of potential, worth of potential is there in another 5 to 10 years as far as the dams and reservoirs are concerned.
So my last question, do you also see any impact on the dredging business of India as a whole or DCI of this ongoing Middle East crisis?
At this moment, we don't have much of an issue, but definitely it's going to be, as far as the fuel is concerned, the price is going to go up, and it will have a resulting effect on the price, what we quote in the tenders. And mostly our dredges are built in Netherlands, and the spares are being procured from abroad. And so there could be a lot of time delay and also escalation of the price part of it. So these are the two major components which are going to affect our dredges. And other than that, since we are only confined to Indian continent and only the Southeast Asia, so we are not being affected as far as the operations are concerned, but financially there will be definitely a lot of effect. And also we are trying to procure few more dredges in the days to come, and that might have some impact on it because this equipment has to come from abroad. So other than this, right now Indian operations are going on as usual.
So what are the key markets where these dredgers are built? Like Cochin Shipyard, you are engaged for some of your orders, but globally, what is the which is the major market?
The main dredge building company is known as IHC, which has been there for the last 100 years. And they are the main builders, and they supply dredgers of all versatile dredgers, various types of dredgers, and they supply to all the main big four or big five companies, as I mentioned. And so far, all the 10 dredgers of whatever we bought from IHC, and this is the first time under Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have ordered for a CSL, but as per our business plan, we are going to procure another about 11 number dredgers for another 5 years time. So out of which 2 bigger dredgers, that is about 12,000 horsepower capacity dredgers, 2 in number, going to be ordered for CSL. Since they have made one dredger, it becomes easy for them to roll out another couple of dredgers. And when it comes to smaller dredger, that's about 3,000 hopper capacity, which is going to be used for the shallow water dredger, that will be ordered for the HSL and also one water injection dredger. And we are planning for another 6 in number, that is the smaller cutter section dredger, that is which are going to be used for IWA, and that could be given to any smaller firms like BML. We have recently signed an MOU during IMW to go for a construction of the smaller vessels, and we are also approaching HSL and BML. And since CSL is already overloaded, we wanted to diversify, wanted to encourage all the Indian firms so that the shipbuilding, the ecosystem is developed in India.